Hi everybody, Michaelantonio live. And has it not been a crazy week? I gotta tell you. And, I wanted to talk about what's been going on the last few days. It's an exciting weekend. We have the NFL championships today, actually. Later today, I should say, because it is an early, oh no, actually tomorrow. I'm sorry. I stand corrected. It's not quite midnight. So tomorrow we have both the AFC Championship and the NFC Championship. Now, in the AFC is featured, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs, our perennial powerhouse that has been to two Super Bowls in a row, and I believe 4 AFC championships in a row. And, of course, on the NFC side, you have the awesome San Francisco 49ers against the incredible Los Angeles Rams. And, hey, whoever wants to make their predictions, go ahead and tell me right here. You can comment. Go ahead and comment and let me know who you think is going to win this whole thing. And you don't have to comment if you don't want to, but I think you know who's going to be in the Super Bowl after tomorrow evening. You're going to know. We're all going to know. But I think some of you might even know beforehand. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about some of the things that are going on in this world. Starting with, of course, this whole argument with Neil Young and Spotify and Joe Rogan and what's going on with that. Now, of course, the left wing, who Neil Young apparently supports at this point, has said that anyone that goes against their narrative as it pertains to the issue that's been going on in this world, the pandemic, if you have a different viewpoint, even if you quote a doctor, a board-certified doctor who has a different viewpoint, what happens? You are what they call spreading misinformation or disinformation. That's what they're saying. They're using these little buzzwords that apparently means that no matter what we say, even if it's from a doctor, from a scientific expert, nope, and they immediately brand that particular expert a quack. They're all quacks. Anybody who disagrees with them is a quack. Even though these people have a long list of credits to their name and achievements in their fields, not good enough. Not good enough. And so this is what's going on. So you've got this happening, and I think it's really funny. It's really funny that they have this attitude, and they think that apparently there are people who agree with them. There are people who think that they are correct, so they keep... It's what's called propaganda. This has been going on for a very, very long time. For a very long time. So, I mean, it shouldn't surprise anybody, It shouldn't be a big surprise to anyone that they're doing this. They're doing this to us, creating a false narrative, and saying that, this is misinformation. If Joe Rogan says anything that doesn't follow what we told you to do, now, we told you to make sure you get the jab, make sure you do what we tell you, one size fits all, there are no problems with this, you better obey, and you better shut up. And this is what's happening. And this is what's happening. So now we've got, of course, then you hear that Joni Mitchell, remember the old rocker, female guitarist, folk singer, whatever she is, she's joining Neil Young in protesting and leaving Spotify, which to me is just, I don't know, I just think it's ridiculous that you would even worry about, it's a difference of opinion. And I know they keep saying, well, your misinformation is killing people and this, that, and the other. Let me tell you something. let me tell you something about these people. Let me tell you something about these people. Okay? In the beginning of this pandemic, if you remember, we'll go back, and I've discussed this with a few people, and it's as true now as it was then. We had particular treatments that showed some promise, and we knew them to be safe. Now, I'm not even going to bother mentioning the names because, like I said, I'll be chased off the internet by these monsters. But we already know for a fact that the medications that we were talking about, that even President Trump brought up, were already safe treatments. They've been used for years, for almost 50 years, safely administered to people, particularly people who were dealing with malaria, things like that, very, very bad diseases. And it was a safe treatment, and it was an effective treatment for those particular ailments. Now, of course, now, we didn't know at the time just how effective it was going to be against this new, invader into our world. And so we didn't know yet, but we said, let's try it. Let's see what this thing does. And so they administered it to a few people, and they provided it in like a little cocktail. Like they had a few other ingredients like zinc and a few other things that were helpful. And so what did they do? They did that. And what ended up happening is that it actually worked. It was somewhat effective. Now, at first, you had media outlets say, no, it was proven ineffective. This scientific studies being done have shown that it's not working. And then, of course, they were lying on top of it, saying not only is it ineffective, but it's unsafe, which, again, has been proven false. And I can tell you some of the other things they said about it. They said that it had these side effects. Then we find out that, no, it wasn't that particular drug. It was another similar drug that had some side effects, but those side effects were mild. Of course, they didn't talk about that. They didn't really shout that too much. But the point is, it wasn't even the same drug. It wasn't even the same particular treatment that was being used that had side effects. And so all these things are going on. So you have all these lies. So what do? They suppress it. They ban it in many places. They wouldn't let people take it. So let me ask you the question. How many people do you think died because of that? How many people? And again, I can't answer that. I don't know. I don't know how many people died. I don't really know. Unfortunately, I just don't. So I just, we can't answer that definitively, but I can tell you this. If I was somebody who was really sick from this sickness, and I wanted a treatment, I don't care. Look, they can say, well, you didn't take the jab, screw you. If they want to say that, that's pretty cold, first of all. Second of all, if I want a treatment, they should give me the treatment. Remember something, that's freedom. You want freedom? That's freedom. Remember what Trump did when he signed that order, calling it, the right to try? Do you remember that? The right to try. This is what he did. He gave everybody the right to try. I don't see anything wrong with that. It's your life. You make the decision for what you want to do. And I think it's really interesting that these people, they literally will not even give you the right to try. And then, of course, these are the same people that say healthcare is a right. It's a right. Really? Okay, if that's what you think it is, then no matter what somebody chooses to do with their life, for instance, if they live an unhealthy lifestyle, smoking all the time, drinking, they become alcoholics or drug addicts or whatever, maybe they catch some disease, they get sicker. Now, should that person be told, well, no, you've wasted your life, you've done a lot of bad things to yourself, so we're not going to treat you. You don't deserve that. That's what you're doing to people right now. That's what these people are doing, this to people who decided not to get a particular jab, not to get that, the treatment they want you to have. It's so amazing to me. It is so amazing to me, the obtuse nature of these people. They don't even care. They just, see, that shows you they want unmitigated power. They're not willing to concede anything. They're not willing to say, you know what, that's a little harsh. I may not agree with you, but I don't want you to be sick. Now, I'm going to say this again because I got to say this because this is something that I experienced personally. I've seen people say this. And I thought it was a very sick thing to say, but this was back before the election, before the presidential election the last time around, 2020. And I actually heard people say from their mouth that they hoped that the people who didn't want the jab and the people who supported Trump, they hoped that they would die so there was less people to vote for him. Now, I heard that. Now, I don't care if they were joking. It doesn't matter. That's a sick thing to do or say. But that's the way these people operate. And I got to tell you right now, I don't care how much I disagree with somebody. I'll give you a perfect example. Here we are looking at, who is this? Neil Young and Joni Mitchell. We're looking at them right here, see? I disagree with them. I disagree with what they say. Joni Mitchell called what Joe Rogan was saying, by the way, talking to board-certified experts in the field of medicine, okay, and science. She said it was misinformation. First of all, we know that's false. We know she's lying or she just doesn't know. But you know what? I wish the best for Joni Mitchell in her health, in her life, and the same for Neil Young. I have nothing against these people personally. I don't want to see them harmed. I don't care if what they say is harming them. I don't want it to. I would hope that it would not. I have friends, I have loved ones, I have people that I know that are dear to me, some of which got the jab, some of which did not. I don't want any of them to be hurt, especially so that I can make a point. Oh, see, they got the jab, they're dying, or they're sick, or they're worse off because of it. I don't want that. I don't wish that on anybody, and nobody should ever wish that on anybody. I don't understand. You know, if you want to comment, again, give me your thoughts on that, because I feel like it's just amazing to me. It's so amazing to me these people would have such an incredible, attitude. Just such a hateful, sick attitude. And again, these are the same people that call conservatives hateful. You are so hateful. You know, I mean, this is, you know, it's so amazing to me. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get their attitude, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, I don't think we're going to change a lot of these people. They're so deep. They're so far in to their, you know, their beliefs and what they want that their pride won't let them take it any further. You know, their pride won't let them back off and change up. Because if they do, they're actually going to have to admit, I'm just a human being. I don't have any more power than you. I'm not any smarter than most people. I'm just another person. I'm a flawed human. I'm not God. Well, a lot of these people believe that what they believe in is God. Like it is, that's their power source. And they're not going to back off on that. They're not going to do it. It's just amazing to me. These people have such a terrible attitude about this. And I don't know. I don't know where to take it. I think that it's a sad attitude, and it's something that I definitely do not. I don't want any part of that. I don't know has anybody here seen the movie Pulp Fiction? You remember Pulp Fiction? There was a character in that movie that played by Ving Rhames, and Ving Rhames was telling this boxer, he basically wanted the boxer to take a dive. Okay, and he was saying to this boxer, I'm going to pay you to take a dive. Because, you know, that's what they do. They pay the boxer, they pay him off. He takes a dive, and because they made bets on it, they make a lot of money. So this particular character tells the boxer, who played the boxer? I believe it was, names. Anyway, somebody can remind me. But he tells the boxer, look, you know, there's something called pride, and it messes with you. And that pride can be harmful to you. I'm paraphrasing because he was using a lot of swearing, and it's not necessary for me to make my point to do that. So I'm just saying, he just said, pride messes with you. Like, you feel like, hey, who is anybody to mess with? I am the champion. I know what I'm talking about. I'm smarter than you. And I've had several people. It's funny how people will posture, when they have a disagreement with you. You got these people I had somebody ask me the other day in a discussion. I wouldn't even call it a discussion. It was them insulting me because they disagree with what I was saying. And they said to me, "Oh, do you care to compare IQs?" Ha ha ha. And I'm thinking to myself, really, does this guy know me? And again, I'm not bragging. I'm not trying to say that I'm the smartest person in the world. I certainly don't have the IQ of Einstein or some of the more brilliant scientists through our history. I don't. But I will say, and I'm not saying it again to brag, I have a Mensa level IQ. And so when somebody tries to tell me, well, who are you? You think you're so smart? I don't care about that. I'm making an argument. If I happen to be intelligent enough to make an argument that counters your argument, you know what? Whether I'm wrong or whether I'm right, I can guarantee you the argument that I'm making has been well thought out. And there is at least some merit to it. So I like the idea of people respecting other people's opinions, even if you don't agree. Look, I will fight with the best of them. I will challenge, and I will have a debate, and I will fight to the end. But when it starts going down to personal insults, I'm sorry, but you lost because you didn't make your point. You thought that maybe, this person's just going to see it my way because, after all, I'm so smart. But then when they don't, and you get people fighting back, immediately, well, I got to insult him to make him seem small so that other people will say, oh, yeah, he's the idiot, The thing is, and again, I hate to say this, but psychologically speaking, a lot of times it works. And that's really sad that it works. It's really sad that it works, but it really does work sometimes. I don't know. Well, I don't even know. I don't even know how in the world that anybody could use those kinds of tactics to try to win an argument. I don't understand it. It's yes, you can get a lot of very naive people to just buy into that because they don't they don't dig deeper either in their mind. They don't do the mind work that it takes to actually think a little bit more deeply, a little bit more abstractly, nuanced. It's difficult, I understand that. But this is what's happening right now. You've got people that'll do this. Now, hey, don't get me wrong. You want to start insulting me, believe me, I will go toe-to-toe. I am not averse to going, to volleying back. No, like I said, I usually wait. I will give that person a chance to repent of their sins and get back on track. I try. But sometimes I gotta strike back. I gotta strike back with a zinger or two. It depends. Sometimes it has to be done because if you gotta throw them off too a little bit if they're gonna do that. I don't like it. I don't like it, but I think that man, it's just amazing to me. It's amazing. Man. Good Lord. So, yeah, what's everybody up to tonight besides just chilling on a Saturday night here almost, coming up on a Sunday morning, a lazy Sunday morning? I'd like to talk a little bit about what happened today. Talk about misinformation. This is amazing to me. Do you want to talk about misinformation? I'm going to show you a story right here. This is a story by Joni and Neil Young. Look, guys. Yeah, okay, we'll get rid of them. This is what happened. Okay. This is the story today. Tom Brady retires from the NFL. The quarterback from the Tampa Bay Bucks, formerly New England Patriots. He's got 7 rings? The guy won championships everywhere he's gone. And it's just amazing. Amazing career. Oh, they say, okay, he retires. So everybody thinks, oh, he's retired. Oh, look at this. Now, they say the story was originally from Adam Schefter. I believe he's like an ESPN reporter. And so he's getting sources that are saying, okay, Tom Brady retired from the NFL. And so here's the funny thing. You got all these people, his teammates, instead of calling him, because maybe they just didn't bother because they feel, look, this is just what's happening. Tom Brady was talking about retirement. All of a sudden, all of these former teammates and different people in the NFL that knew him and other athletes are tweeting about him, telling him, oh, congratulations, man, you're the GOAT and best wishes and this, that, and the other. And, of course, so we're all thinking, Tom Brady retires from the NFL. Now, remember, this is the media. This is the mainstream media that are saying this. Tom Brady retires, right? These are the same people who we're supposed to trust when it comes to all other media. I mean, all other information, right? All other information. So you think, okay, well, automatically, okay, Tom Brady retired from the NFL. So we all believe it, right? It's the the hive mind thing. Okay? Well, let me tell you what happened. Let's go to the other story here. And it's funny how I came home from work and I'm sitting here at my computer, and all of a sudden I see this story that just comes out, and I'm thinking to myself, that's very strange. I thought it was an older story at first, and it was a story from, if I can find it on my thing here. I don't know if you noticed, but everybody is saying that, like all the news sources, Tom Brady to retire from NFL after a legendary career, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden I see this story that comes up. And again, I'm thinking this story is old news, maybe from yesterday or from early this morning, something else. And so we got a picture here with Bruce Arians and Tom Brady. Now this was today, but it was later. This story came out. It was released sometime in the afternoon. I don't know, maybe 4-ish, 5-ish, whatever it is. And I didn't know this at first. All of a sudden I read and it says, hold off on the official Tom Brady tributes for now. According to Buccaneers coach Bruce Arians, Brady hasn't yet informed the organization he's retiring. And quoting Arians, he says, no, he hasn't. He hasn't that we know of, Arians told the Tampa Bay Times. Agent Don Yee just told us he hasn't even made up his mind. Now, this is something that he said. He just told them, I haven't even made up my mind. In fact, in another story, he said literally, I am not even close to making up my mind about retirement. Now, you could say, well, that's a relative term. Does that mean, he didn't want to, in the morning he wasn't even close, but then as he got closer to the early afternoon, he was closer? I don't know. I think that when you say I'm not even close to making a decision, I'm thinking that's at least weeks or months, right? Wouldn't you say? So what does this teach us? This teaches us that the media, okay, I don't care who the media is, in this case it was Adam Schefter and the people that supported what he was working on, and whatever informants were talking to him, unless somebody obviously gave him false news. They gave him, what is it called again, everybody? Misinformation. Okay? So they gave him misinformation, and we're supposed to just believe what they say. So here you have all these people, thousands of people that are very well known, his former teammates, other athletes from all over the world. They're all believing that, yeah, he retired, that's it. Although we never heard it from his mouth, he didn't do any press conferences. Now, I would think, and this is just spitballing here, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking that, wait a minute, don't you think that Tom Brady would want to do a press conference and say it himself? To kind of say goodbye. Maybe he would want to say goodbye to all of his supporters and all the people that helped him along the way. I wouldn't think that this would come from some reporter, some journalist or should I call them a pseudo-journalist, because apparently they got the story wrong. You know, wouldn't you think, just spitballing here, that Tom Brady would want to do this himself? I'm sorry, I just feel like there's something not quite right here. Like, we don't take this stuff seriously enough. And we just assume that the media is telling the truth all the time. Okay? It's amazing to me, but just to kind of bookend this with what else is going on, the other story that I was talking about tonight, which was the whole Joe Rogan thing. Now, Joe Rogan has had several experts on his podcasts from Spotify. We know that he's had these people come on, these experts. In fact, one particular gentleman was one of the scientists who developed the actual, the very beginnings of the vaccine that was being used for this pandemic. He was one of the scientists that actually helped to develop it. And yet this guy had his doubts. He was talking about it. Now, look, that guy is obviously a medical expert. If he was one of the guys that helped develop it, I'm sorry, but he is. I think he was like the chief designer of this thing. So, if that's the fact, then, I mean, I really believe that, a lot of people owe Joe Rogan some respect for that. Because remember, this is not just Joe Rogan coming on here and just saying stuff off the top of his head, saying, well, this is what I believe and this is what I did. I went and got some horse paste from the feed store, the animal feed store over here, and I'm better now. This is great. He didn't do that. And I think this is what people need to understand. So when somebody tells you, Joe Rogan was spreading misinformation, no, he was talking to medical experts who happened to disagree with much of what the media and the government is saying right now about all of these issues as it pertains to this pandemic. It's just amazing. And again, I'm not saying you have to agree with everything Joe Rogan has put on his podcast. You don't have to. And you know what's funny? I don't agree with everything that, any doctor or any podcast host says. I don't. But I respect what they're doing, and you cannot treat them like everything they're saying is a lie or dangerous. But you can see what's going on here. You've got right here, the U.S. Surgeon General calls for big tech government to censor Joe Rogan. Let's go to that article. That's an interesting... this is what our own government... Look, this is the government. This is what happened in Nazi Germany. This is what happened in communist China, communist Russia. This is what happened. They were calling for censoring people who they didn't agree with. Look, so you literally have the U.S. Surgeon General. What is it? Vivek Murthy is calling for Joe Rogan's JRE podcast to be censored for misinformation. Don't you love these little buzzwords they use? Yeah, it's just amazing. They use these buzzwords. Misinformation. And it's something they can put in a little box and wrap it in a bow. They make it easy for the public to swallow. They make it a very bite-sized morsel for the public to believe. And it's instead of actually teaching people and encouraging people to use their mind and dig a little deeper, be a little more nuanced, get a better understanding of things. No, we don't need that. We can't have that. We can't have that. No, you know why? Because they cannot brainwash people that way. If you ask people to think for themselves and actually use a little bit of brain power, taking the available research and processing it from all the experts, not just the hand-picked experts that the government wants you to believe in. It's amazing to me, but yeah, see what they do. And so when they say misinformation, that's a buzzword. That is a little morsel of poison for the masses to swallow. That's what that is when they say that word. Because in reality, when they spread misinformation, like for instance, when they tell you that certain drugs are dangerous and unsafe for consumption, even though for almost 50 years we already knew they were not. When that's not misinformation, they don't think they maybe, killed people by saying that and misinforming people. It's amazing. So when they use the word misinformation, it'd be one thing if they were actually correct. Even so, then is that really propaganda if they're correct? But they're not correct. What they're doing is they are able to lie to you. It reminds me of, law enforcement can lie to you. The court can lie to you. Anybody else can lie to you. But if you lie to the police or you lie to the court, you can be prosecuted for that. Well, this is the way our government now wants to handle every situation. They want to be able to tell you, yeah, we're going to lie to you. There's not a dang thing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do. But if you lie, or what they call lying, if you say something we don't like, we're going to call it a lie. We're going to call it misinformation. And then we're going to try to make it illegal. And we're going to try to cancel your ass. We're going to try to get rid of you because you're dangerous. And this is exactly why we should, vote out the people that are trying to push this, trying to purvey this particular poisonous pill. Because it's terrible. It's a poison pill. That's exactly what it is. Can you believe that? So anyway, I'll read a little bit more of this article. The Daily Wire's reporting detailed that Murthy expressed a desire for the U.S. government and leading tech giants to have a hand in dictating content that could inspire different opinions on topics such as the COVID-19 pandemic. On a per-episode basis, the JRE podcast compiles a listenership of 11 million people. Now, why would you, think about it. Why would you even, who says that these people have the right to allow the government to intrude into our business? Who has that right? I don't care what you say. As long as you're not, threatening someone directly, you can say whatever you want, even if it's false information, guys. If the government wants to counteract it, then come out with your own information. Come out with your own information and say, well, I don't agree with that. Instead of saying, we're going to shut that down now. We're going to cancel that person because we don't like what they have to say. Look, freedom of speech is freedom of speech, and you cannot, create this line and say, well, that's not, that is that. No. Freedom of speech is freedom of speech. End of story. Let's not go crazy here. Oh, by the way, guys, I don't know if you go to my page, michaelantonio.biz, by the way, michaelantonio.biz, I have a lot of different videos you can watch on YouTube, little videos that I make. If you're not seeing this on YouTube right now, you can check that out if you so desire. So, this is amazing, these people. And, of course, this particular, Surgeon General. This particular Surgeon General appeared on MSNBC. I call it Messed Up NBC. This Biden-appointed official advocated for the stream of information to be curated by big tech. Oh, how nice. Big tech. The same people that are canceling people. Like myself, I was canceled on Twitter. These people are disgusting. It's disgusting and it's wrong. I don't care what you think. I don't care. I don't agree with what the other side says. But I can tell you, I don't want to shut you down. You can say what you want, but I want to say what I want. Hey, let's have a debate. You notice how they don't want to debate you? They don't want to actually have a debate and let everybody decide what they feel is best. No, they want to shut you the hell down. And they don't care. It's the lazy way out. They don't care. It's so easy for them. They can just shut you down, shut you up, and go on their merry way and do whatever the hell they want. We can't let that happen. We cannot let that happen. Now, the cool thing about this is that Americans are waking up to this. And I think in this next election here, in the midterms, they're not going to be able to cheat enough to win back our government. It's just not going to happen. I don't see it happening. But, stay tuned, because, hey, who am I? It might turn into that. So, it's one of those things that, I can tell you it's frustrating for me, because I just, I want everybody to have their freedom. Even if I don't agree with you, even if you're crazy, I certainly want you to be able to speak. Speak your mind. Say what you want. If I don't like it, I don't have to listen to it. I don't have to listen. But that doesn't mean you don't get to speak. It's so amazing to me. These people are just so incredibly obtuse. Incredibly obtuse. It's disgusting. I don't know where else to go with that. It's just crazy. Man. So I'm at the point where I really, it's just disgusting. I don't even know where to go with it. I'm at the point where I can't even believe that anybody would follow after what they want. Even if they agree with the other side and they say, well, yeah, we agree with them. We want to hear more of what we have to say. Why would you ever say, well, we want to hear less of what we want to make sure they get shut down? Because you do know that someday the other side is going to be in power. And of course, you knew they were in power. Just the last term. You never heard Trump saying we're going to shut down what the other side says. He just said we're going to criticize it. We're going to have the debate. And there's nothing wrong with criticizing your opposition. Absolutely criticize away. But, again, and this is why it's amazing to me when people say, when they say, well, Trump was a fascist, he was this and that. There's not one thing you can point to. I don't care who you are or how smart you say you are. There's not one thing you can point to that shows Trump as a fascist. Not one thing. I'm sorry. Now, could you say he's rude sometimes? Sure. He had mean tweets? Yeah, sometimes. Okay, most of the time. So what? That doesn't mean you're a fascist. But guess what? The government in power right now, everything they are doing has a fascist tone to it. Mandates, all these things. I want you to think about that. I want you to understand what's happening. And I want you to get this. I think a lot of you already do get it, but I think it's important to understand that these people are not going to bend. They're not going to bend over, or they're not going to concede, compromise in any way, shape, or form. Because it's all-out war. And they think they're winning. They think they're going to win this thing. They think they're going to control the narrative. And it's funny how, I didn't want to bring this up, but I'm going to bring this up. Only because I think it's important to understand this. And I should find that story. There's a story about a Philadelphia 76ers fan, okay, who said something about Carmelo Anthony, who plays for the Los Angeles Lakers NBA team. Most of you know who that is, okay? Now, Carmelo, great basketball player. I supported and followed him when he played for Syracuse. And I can tell you that, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a LeBron thing. And I think that it's when people, when you gravitate to a certain icon in sports or in any field, anything they start doing, it seems like it rubs off on people. They begin to think, I can do this now. I have this ability. And so what happens is you have LeBron James, who he's offended by everything. There was some fans in one particular place he went. I think it was, I don't know if it was the Pacers or somewhere he was playing. And some fans said something rude to him. What did they do? They kicked the fans out because, not because he was threatened, but because he was offended. So they kicked the fans out. And I think that's disgusting, personally, because you know what? Those fans, they paid to be there. LeBron's job is to, I hate to say it, shut up and dribble. Your job is to go out there, play the game to the best of your ability. You know what would have been better for LeBron? What would have been better is that he wins the game against their team to say, oh, you can say anything you want. We're going to beat your team. We're going to win against your team. That's what you do. You don't fight back against these fans with weakness. It's thin skin. It's a thin skin. It's like, I can't handle. Oh, you offended me. You got to get out of here. So here's what happens. So, Carmelo Anthony, they go in, the Lakers are playing the Philadelphia 76ers. And of course, the Sixers fan said something rude to Carmelo Anthony, called him boy. Now, I know the connotation. People say that's a racial slur. You're calling a black man a boy. And look, I understand. Believe me, I understand that in many circumstances that was considered a racial epithet or slur towards a person of, a person who's black. I understand that completely. That it does happen. And it has happened. And that's rude. That's wrong, obviously. But did they ever ask for clarification from this guy if he was saying it that way? I've been called boy all of my life by various people. And obviously it wasn't racial. It was just designed to, in some ways, belittle me for whatever reason. Because somebody wanted to belittle me. Or maybe they just didn't mean anything by it. Maybe, I've had women say, hey, boy, come here, boy. That doesn't mean that they're trying to belittle me or make me feel bad. And again, I think the best policy with something like this is to say to that person who does that, okay, can you give clarification for that? Can you tell me why you would say something like that? Now look, as far as Carmelo is concerned, oh, by the way, they ejected this Sixers fan, for life from the Wells Fargo Center. They banned him for life for saying a 3-letter word, boy. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about the power they're trying to wield. They didn't give this guy due process. They didn't say, well, why would you say that? Now, first of all, again, as it pertains to Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony, again, you got to be stronger in your mind than that. You got to play the game. Focus on the game. Try to do your best to beat that team. That's what you got to do if you're Carmelo Anthony. Don't worry about what somebody said to you on the sidelines. They're just on the sidelines watching you play. And by the way, it's not your right to assume what they meant by what they said and then turn around and try to punish them for it. So Carmelo Anthony, you got to grow up, buddy. And I'll say on a personal note, I remember there's a mall up in Syracuse that I would frequent when I lived there. And I would see Carmelo Anthony, when he was playing for Syracuse, and his teammates walk around the mall. And, they were, look, I don't have anything against them. They're teenagers. At the time, they were teenagers, young people. And, they were using very foul language, saying some very rude racial things. You know what? Look, it's life. I'm not going to, first of all, hold something like that against a bunch of teenage young men. Boy, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. It's ridiculous. Because, again, I have a thicker skin than that. I'm not looking to hurt people. I'm not looking to get you. I'm not looking to, I got you now, you said this. I don't care. And I think it's really, really, this is going to be a wake-up call for Carmelo Anthony, because someday he's going to find out that there will always be rudeness in this world. There will always be somebody that's not going to like you, or that's just going to be angry at you for whatever reason. They're going to say something maybe they regret later, maybe they don't, but something that's going to be offensive to you. That's just life. And for Carmelo to turn that into a racial issue, and again, this is a left-wing power grab. This is what they do. They will use whatever they can to gain more power. So now this poor guy, this Sixers fan who probably loves his Sixers, he's paying to go to the games, now they're going to ban this guy for life because he said a 3-letter word that has no intrinsic meaning to anything. Even if it has been used to harm other people in the past, Where is this man's due process? Where is this man's opportunity to explain himself and to have a discussion? Where is this man's opportunity to make amends with Carmelo Anthony himself or with whoever might have been offended? And again, I don't think that he should have to. I think this is just a bunch of crybabies, people who are just, they don't, they're in a position of power. I hate to say it, but this fan is not in a position of power. Yeah, they paid to be there, but they don't have any power. You think they have as much power as Carmelo Anthony has? Obviously not. Carmelo got angry, and now they're banned for life. Who's got the power here? Who's worried about being called a boy? Carmelo, he knows nothing about what it is to be, to live like his ancestors lived 200 years ago. Does he know anything about that? No, he doesn't. He's got more power than I will ever have. More influence, more money. And you know what? I'm happy for him. I don't care about that. I do not care. It's wonderful. If he was able to achieve that, that's great. I have nothing against that. But it's amazing to me that you have people that will think that, oh, he was just treated so poorly. This is just an epidemic in this country. We've got racism everywhere. They're looking for racism around every corner. And, for the most part, there might be people that were fooled into believing that the racism is everywhere you look. But a lot of these people really don't believe that. They're using this for power. They're using it for power. I'm not even saying Carmelo is, because to be honest with you, Carmelo already has enough power. He's not worried. He's not worried about anything. I think he just believes the propaganda. He believes what they're saying about this. That, oh yeah, man, somebody called you boy. You know what that means? That means that you are being racially attacked. That's exactly what he's believing. And you know what? I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe, look, and again, we'll go back to this. Maybe the guy is a racist. I don't know. I don't know him. Do you? Do any of these people know him? Does Carmelo even know this guy? Does he? I've had people call me boy on the basketball court. By the way, people of all skin colors have called me boy, called me a lot of different names. Called me a lot of different names on the basketball court. And I don't really care. It didn't hurt me, it didn't bother me. I've been called names like Cracker. I had people call me back in the day when I was in high school, they called me Julius. Now the funny thing about that is because when I made moves to the basket, I look like Julius Erving. Now I would never be confused with Julius Erving, not because of the color issue, but because I can't slam dunk a basketball. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I was pretty good below the rim, but the point is, I don't know how maybe just the way I looked going towards the rim. I don't know. But the point is, I've been called, I was kind of flattered by that one, but I've had them call me all kinds of names. And they weren't always flattering. You know what? That's life. You grow up, you deal with it, you move on. That's the way it works. But that's not what they want. So I just found that interesting. I know you're probably saying, what does that matter? It matters very much because they're trying to control language. They're literally taking a word, 3 letters, that has so many different meanings, and they're focusing on it. Oh, and now you can say, well, that's association. If you're using the word boy with a black man, that's automatically a put down on him based on his skin color. No, it's not. Could it be? It's possible, yes. And yes, it has been used for that. Nobody of any intelligence or wisdom would deny such a thing. However, I will say, do they really know that's what this particular man was doing to Carmelo Anthony? I don't know. I don't think so. And I can tell you something else that really should be no surprise, okay? That I've been called other names. And it's interesting to me because it just shows you that they really don't care about language. They don't care about what they even say. Okay, I've had people of color and people who are not of color call me the N-word. No. That's strange, right? So, the word doesn't mean a whole lot to them, apparently, and that's okay. I mean, like I said, I really don't care. If you want to call me that, that's your right to say it. And what's funny is I don't even care. It doesn't even bother me. Whatever. I mean, really, it amazes me. And again, I don't like that word. I think it's a very disgusting word. And so, if you're going to use that word, I don't think much of you at that moment. Sorry, but the point is, I really don't. It's not gonna make me lose sleep. Okay, guys? And it just amazes me that people would even think for a minute that that's really an important issue. You know? I don't know. I just think it's crazy. But, you can take from it what you shall take from it. And of course, before I go, we've been on quite a while, so I'm not going to stand here forever, but I would like to say to you, that because of what's going on, them controlling language, them trying to ban people from all these different social media sites, make sure you sign up for all the different platforms that are springing up. They're free speech platforms. For instance, let me find one here that you're going to like. There's one here, Getter. That's one of the newer ones, Gettr. That's Gettr. And I'm on there, by the way. Look me up, Michael Antonio, on Getter. And so you can find me there. When you go to my profile, I'll show you. Make sure you join me on Getter. And also, another great one is called Parler. Or is it Parlay? I say Parler, but I think it's Parlay in French, right? Somebody correct me on that one, you know. Somebody correct me. Oh, tonight, you know what tonight is? Apparently for my woman over here, tonight happens to be playing with artwork on the internet night. Yeah. Taking pictures of me and butchering them horribly. But that's okay. Her pictures look great, I notice. She's got great, I mean, man, the pictures she creates with these different programs look fantastic. She looks great. I want her to post a few because they look incredible. And she looks great anyway, but I'm saying the way she does those pictures just fantastic. So you should take a look at those. But here's Parler. Parler still exists, and I'm on there too. Here's my Parler. Again, Michael Antonio. So look me up on Parler. And, of course, the next one, Gab. I'm on Gab. I know some people don't like Gab because Gab has a lot of, we want to talk about free speech. I mean, there are very offensive people, and I understand that. But you know what? You got to kind of stomach the idea that it's on there. Now, if you want to personally block them, which I have blocked a few of them personally, that's fine. I believe you can, it's the same thing as turning the channel. Block them. But this is my Gab. It's under Michael Antonio Luquette, my last name, Michael Antonio. A lot of great stuff on there. So I just thought I would kind of bring you up to date on what we have. We have Getter, Parler, Gab. Also, don't forget Truth Social. It's called Truth Social. Started by Trump, is going to be coming out, I believe, sometime in February, they said, was the launch date. So don't forget, you got to be on Truth Social. That's very, very important that you go to Truth Social. Hey, maybe I should go over here and go to my face. Where's my? I don't even have Facebook up here. What is wrong with me? I'm going to go to Facebook over here, and I am going to. Maybe I'll show you some of the pictures she put up. I don't know. Let's see. Should I do that? Maybe not. No, I'm not going to do it. You know why? Because if I do that, she might not want me to do that. So I'll have to ask her before I do another video. But so anyway, before I go, guys, I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. And I'll be doing this more frequently, talking about the news of the day, what's going on. I wanted to get a little bit into Howard Stern, but he's such a jackass that I just, maybe I'll do it another time, but the guy just, he gives me night sweats. The guy is horrible. He just, I don't understand the guy. All these people, you think of all these leftist people 20 and 30 years ago were all about freedom of speech. I want to spew my garbage. I want to talk about everything under the sun, whatever I want to express, even though the company told me not to do it. I'm going to express whatever I want, even if it offends people or hurts people. I don't care. This is freedom of speech. Freedom. Okay, and this is what these people did. Now all of a sudden, something I don't like. Let's shut that down. So basically, Howard Stern has become his grandmother. That's really what he's become. He's become like an old, dare I say it? He has become a boomer. I mean, seriously, this is what this guy is now. He's just a joke. So I'll get into him a little bit later, another time. But before I go, I do want to let you know that this whole show is sponsored by Zeus's Bounty. Let me bring you to my Zeus's Bounty page on my website. It's michaelantonio.biz/Zeus's Bounty. I will leave a link in the descriptions. You can find it, or you just go to my site. Go to michaelantonio.biz, and you can find Zeus's Bounty on my menu. Go there and check it out. It is a smart contract that provides you with a daily passive income. It also provides you with tools that you need to do business, and a lot of free tools, things that where you normally pay hundreds of dollars for instance, for email lists, sharing your emails, autoresponders, things like that, tutorials for many different things, many different tools for your business, free. And you don't even have to you don't have to do the money side of Zeus's Bounty. There is a money side where you contribute a certain amount of cryptocurrency, and you can actually make money daily. You don't even have to do that if you want to take advantage of the free tools that are provided to you here. So check it out. You go to Zeus's Bounty here, and you can actually click on all these links. I'll show you here, one of my links here. You click there where it says click here, and I'm going to show you where it takes you. When you click here, it's going to take you to this page right here. This is the Zeus's Bounty information page. Make yourself familiar with it. Learn it so that you can join Zeus's Bounty. So much here. The Zeus Academy teaches you many different things about operating a business, making passive income, all these different things. What I do like about it is that the founder, his name is Tim Bentley, he had been involved in other programs where he was making money passively, or trying to, I should say. And what happened is these people would start these things just so they could basically steal the money and run. It's called like a rug pull. That's what they do. They'll take in the money, and it's becoming more widespread in the crypto community, where they'll take the money and say, well, we got this big thing coming here. Your money's going to be worth 1,000 times what it is now. Now, yes, there are some that have already achieved that, and that's fantastic, but you have some that will pull the rug and take all your money and run. And guess what? You're left holding the bag. You got nothing. So this guy, Tim Bentley, decided, I want to do something that's for the people, that helps the people, and I don't want to take anything from them. I want to give to them. So he started this thing called Zeus's Bounty. So go ahead and take a look. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to read through this. You're going to also click this Join Zeus's Academy right here. Click that. And once you click that, you put your email, you put your information in there. And that's all absolutely free. You don't pay a dime for that. Now you've got this academy that you've got all kinds of tutorials and different ways to learn about how to make passive income, learn about the crypto community, learn about cryptocurrency itself, Bitcoin, all those things. And that's all absolutely free. I'm telling you, it's free. But there is an opportunity that you take advantage of. So take a look at that, where you can actually earn a daily passive income. I'm going to tell you right now, and by the way, this is an absolute fact, I'm going to tell you that I have already begun to earn an income with this thing. And I will show you. I'm going to show you. It's an article that I wrote because it's, you can go to my page to learn about this, but I've already begun to make an income. And by the way, this is being paid out in a smart contract, and it's called BNB, Binance Coin, Smart Chain Coin. And this coin, now they're projecting that it may be worth up to 10 times to 100 times more than it is now. Now, I said before, I remember how I said, oh, it's a rug pull, they're going to pull your, no. This is called Binance. Binance is a international cryptocurrency. It's not going anywhere. Now, let's say right now you're earning, now I'm going to go low on this. Let's say you're earning only $10 per day in Binance coin right now. If it grows in value in the next couple of years to $100, that's 10 times what you're getting. So all those days that you were getting $10 a day, all of a sudden it transfers to $100 a day. Retroactive, by the way, because all what you have is gone. If you keep your Binance, I recommend keeping most of it because I think it's going to grow in value, just like Ethereum did and Bitcoin. Ethereum was very inexpensive at first. It was cheap like Bitcoin was, and then it went up to like $4,000 per coin. Binance was low. Now it's about, what, $300 a coin, a little over $300 a coin. Well, it could go up to 2,000 or 3,000, just like Ethereum did, because actually it's a better cryptocurrency. It's a better blockchain. It just is. It's faster. It's more. It's cheaper to utilize. So there's so much more. It's even better than Ethereum. So, guys, look out for this. This is important. It really is. It's very important for you to understand in this day and age what's going on and how you can take advantage of that, because right now you're not taking advantage of it. So I'm not going to get too much into it because, again, it's a lot for this hour of the night. But if you want to hear more about it, either contact me or read my articles on my website. This particular one, it's called The Best Way to Earn Passive Income in 2022. And I'm going to show you one more thing before I go. This is my earnings. This is a real example. Now, again, this is not to be taken as financial advice. This is just my experience with it. So please do not consider this professional financial advice. Thank you. Now, I earned in just 3 weeks, now this is just 3 weeks, what I earned 0.654526, what's called BNB. That's the equivalent, at the time it was the equivalent of $274. It's actually a little bit less now, but I've earned more after that. So what I'm saying is within 3 weeks, I earned $274 worth. You might think, well, that's not a lot of money. I'm just getting started. It grows over time. And if the BNB value increases over time to, instead of 300 or 400, let's say it goes up to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, your value goes up. So there's a lot here that you can get from this. So if you have any questions about Zeus's Bounty, please go to my website, michaelantonio.biz. Click on either Zeus's Bounty. I've got a free money page where you can learn about other ways to earn passive income. There's other ways you can do crypto mining on your cell phones. And it's, by the way, no cost, and it doesn't use up your processor on your cell phone at all. And I have so many things that you can use, you can utilize. And again, I won't go there tonight, but I'm going to tell you, take advantage of these things and ask me about it, and I'll help you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to do those things. So, guys, I want to thank everyone for watching tonight, and have a great night, everybody, and I'll see you soon, okay? Ciao, everybody.
You find something new. There's no other way to let you know it's time for you to go.